Good evening, good people, and welcome to another Final Fantasy Randomizer community race. This week, we have four folks running the upcoming Duckling Derby all loose flag set, week 2 of the Duckling Derby. Tonight in the booth, I am Saracen, joined by Courant. How are you tonight, Courant?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. It's my first opportunity to be in a FFR booth in quite some time, so it's great to be back, and it is great to see y'all tonight in SpeedGaming, so I hope y'all are having a great late evening and ready to go with us into the wee hours of the night.
Yeah, certainly looking at the possibility of running a bit long with this one, because all loose flag sets can be a bit chaotic.
Just a smidge. Speaking of chaotic, well, we know why these party comps are why they are, but do you want to drop the gate and then I'll explain why we're seeing such fun party comps?
Absolutely. I'll drop the gate now.
Alrighty. So as Saracen drops the gate and we get ready to go, you might notice there's a bit of a proliferation of red mages tonight. The main reason why we have so many red mages is because each of our classes has what we call a blessing or a curse, or this time just a blessing. And the blessing for the red mage tonight is the sage class, which means while it's a red mage, it is both white and black mage. And while it is a red wizard, it is both a white and black wizard. So we have magic running out our ears tonight in the red mage class, so everybody is taking at least 2 of them. And you notice Sonny Wrath has 3 red mages this evening.
Yeah, that's a really bold strategy. So, as I look at everybody else on the stream here, we have Thief Fighter Red Red, and that's kind of a safe play. The reason for that is, your fighter is going to get pretty much all the equipment right up. You don't have to worry about promotion. Whereas your Thief, generally you're worried about, can I actually melee until I promote? Now, Blursings are actually on the favor of the Thief here, because one of the biggest concerns the Thief usually has is low hit points in the endgame, but they have plus 15 vitality. The big thing for the fighter, though, is plus 20% hit, so they're really going to be able to pick up those weapons and swing them much faster, usually 6 to 7 levels earlier for their hit breakpoints.
Yeah, so we have some very, very good blessings tonight, so I think our runners will very much enjoy that. Of course, the sting in the tail tonight is oops all loose, as we've been colloquially calling it in the community. Because every single one of the key items tonight is loose somewhere. And we don't know where it's going to be until we find out. I noticed Hate doing a quick check on Canaria's King to see if he had anything important, and it was just a little bit of money, sadly. But good first check, just try to get that out of the way.
We did have some really good first level magic here as well. Looking at Ice 3, Zap, Brack, Harm 4, and Life. So really a big pick here. Generally, I kind of skew towards having like Ice 3, maybe Brack and Life. Also Ruse. So it's just so much going on in level 1. It's a stacked level.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's pretty insane as far as, especially if you get that many good spells on a red mage, you're suddenly having to make some choices as to how you want to go about it.
Was that a Vorpal plus 5 in the first chest?
Yes, it was. So everybody with the fighter is going, oh, happy day, later.
Or the Thief.
Or the thief. Well, that's true too, yeah. Because I guess both the knight and the ninja can wield that sword.
Sonny Wrath getting the Brack off here. I think with the amount of spells and life costing 107 gold out the gate, that's a pretty hefty purchase right off. So I think a bunch of our runners are going to be trying to pick up some cash and get those spells before moving on to Provoca. While the pirates aren't necessarily going to give you an item, they're going to give you some levels, they're going to give you some gold, and then you're going to be able to get those second level spells and move on from there.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and it looks like our runners are certainly loading up for Bear, because that's one of the benefits, I think, of having a sage like this, is if you get good magic, like that Ice 3 spell at the beginning, you can just go ahead and breeze through the pirates and breeze through some other stuff that'll come up in the near future. just to make it a little bit easier on everything. So looks like Bert's going to be the first one to get to the pirates, and I expect they're not going to be in this world too much longer.
Nope. Turn order on one of those red mages, and there's a nice 3.
Yep, the end. Sorry, pirates.
See Sonirath heading up to check out Matoya's cave, see what these boxes hold.
Yep. And that's always a good opportunity to, pop a tent or whatever, housing item you have. Go ahead and check those, and you got about probably, $6 grand or so in money, so I would say that's definitely worth keeping.
So Sleepy Osser, we were promised a hard seed. It's all loose. We could be here a while, because finding everything is a matter of checking as many chests as possible. 241 chests in the game, plus all of the various NPC turn-ins. Things can be anywhere. Normally there's an item in the shop. It turned out that there were just 2 heal potions in the Canaria item shop. So, things like that are going to be pretty common. But we're going to be seeing a lot of everywhere.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And, of course, a lot of these runners are really, really, really good at what they do. So, hopefully, they will avoid the sort of mistake that I made when running the Duckling Weekly this week, which both the Duckling Weekly and this set are the same flags. I skipped one chest. One single chest! And I won't reveal the location or what the item is, because it is part of the Duckling Weekly. But I skipped one chest, and it basically crashed my seed. 1 out of 241. So you definitely have to have a good knowledge of where they all are, and know which ones you've checked and which ones you haven't, so that you don't get yourself lost in that sort of a shuffle.
Absolutely. And, I ran sort of an intro to the flags thing a few weeks ago and put my VOD in so that people could check it out, get a feel for what this is all about. And, I had 4 incentive items in Earth Cave in
goodness.
practice seat. It was absolutely insane. So, you see things like that come up. Some people don't even check any of the chests in Earth. I know at least one duckling that I've talked to recently didn't even know about a certain room that had 3 boxes in it. So, it's it's one of those things where you get your exploration shoes on for this, which I think is really good for our ducks who may otherwise not be used to the idea of finding loose items.
Yeah, that's definitely true, because that's one of those things that takes a lot of practice, I think, because when you get into something like this that is oops all loose, you've got some of the places that you're more accustomed to checking, such as, say, top and bottom of Marsh or Dwarf Cave or places like that. Then you've got locations like the Sea Shrine that have a couple of floors with treasure chests scattered all over creation, or a billion chests in Sky Palace, or something like that you've got to get a bit more used to going, okay, if everything's on the table, we've got to check here, there, and everywhere.
So just a quick rundown of spells that have come up since we have seen Provoca and Elfland. We have the Almighty Lamp at level 2, Warp and Cake at level 2, both very good spells. Level 3, we have Invis 2, Fade, Fast, and Lock. I think Lock is the loser in that group.
Sorry.
Then at level 4, Cure 3, Heal 3, Lit 3, Temper, Saber. I would guess Lit 3, Heal 3, Temper is your pick on both of your mages for that level.
Yeah, and I would possibly reserve the knowledge of Saber for those that have a Thief. They promote to Ninja. Then the Ninja can use that, presumably, but that would be about it otherwise.
Right. I think that's going to be a little bit more on Sonirath's side, where I would think potentially that Thief would be more interested as a ninja taking Temper and putting it on the fighter for the rest of these folks.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It should be interesting to see how all the runners go about it, because there's, with all this magic, you could go in a few different directions, really. So it looks like Goat's Pirate has made his way into Marsh, which is never exactly the funnest time in the history of ever, but fortunately, with such good magic early on, it shouldn't be too much of a slog, I don't think.
I really like the thief sprite on Goat's Pirate's side, how it's facing the runaway direction the whole time, and then it flips back and forth on the victory.
Oh, yeah. Kind of reminds me a little bit of how Caleb likes to do his sprites with the walking backwards all the time.
Yeah, and I will say that Marsh seems to be giving him the business right now, which is not so great. Sonirath also headed up towards top marsh. Are you a top marsh or a bottom marsh first?
I always go top first, mostly just because I feel like with top, if you don't find anything there, it's much easier to go ahead and hit the reset button and go, okay, well, we can just leave these 3. But if you're going downstairs, it takes longer to get there, and I mean, there's a greater possibility that there's something sensible in it in these sorts of flags. So to me, I feel like top is the better route in the beginning, but that's mostly just a personal inclination. Hello, TNT.
It seems to have panned out here at least a little bit. Now, that's not guaranteed to be the only incentive here, but a light axe +3 in there as well. That's a very helpful find.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're definitely keeping that, because of course the TNT, because it is an incentive check, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get anything out of it, because everything is loose. But it's still good to have, if nothing else, for that plus, I believe it's 5% per key item.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. And you know, the thing is, you have to kind of treat turn-ins like that, like they're just another chest. There's no guarantee that TNT turns into anything other than a couple bucks, right?
Right.
Now, the upshot right now is level 2 warp means you can walk all the way down to Narek and cast warp when he inevitably disappoints you, and it's not that big of a deal, right? But that's still so much time walking through the dwarf town cave thing, and I would hold off on that for as long as possible. Sonirath going for the troll chest first, which I understand, and it gives him 141 gold, of course.
So it fulfills its purpose in life.
I've had the incentive in that chest so many times, and it's always the last one that I go to.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Yeah, same here.
So Bert found the canal, and I missed where that was.
Canal's free.
Ship was free. Canal, I thought was a box.
Canal's
ship
free
and
in
canal.
these flags.
That's right. So Bert heading over to the land of glorious experience in the outdoors. 1 free incentive, quote unquote, in the form of the sages. And, maybe some additional gear and spells of note.
Level 6 spells of note, so no casting them just yet. But yeah, at least it's good to have that information.
Yeah. And, I'll say that when it comes to level 6 magic, it has to reach a real high bar for me to even bother buying it. I'm very much a 1st through 4th level, and then 5th, 6th, and up. That's only if it's like fast.
Yeah.
I don't even count on having spell charges for that stuff.
I think for me, my ceiling on that, I think, is level 5 mostly, because really, yeah, when you get to level 6, they're just so expensive most of the time, especially if you go see them early in the game. Oh, hello. It actually is an incentive in Crescent Lake.
I'm impressed. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. So for me, the price jump between level 5 and level 6 is so much that unless it is, Life 2 or Cure 4 or Nuke at level 6 or Fast, I'm not going to bother with it. Level 5 is the highest that I will bother with most of the spells.
I think a lot of my aversion to level 6 and up is that I play red mages a lot, and red mages can't learn anything at 6th level until they promote.
Ooh, yeah. I don't play with red mages very much, and honestly, the biggest reason, which admittedly the randomizer, some of the more recent changes have helped ameliorate this, I just don't remember what they can do and what they can't. So I'll be sitting here clicking, no, red mage, I want you to learn this, and the red mage is like, no, not today.
I certainly understand that, and one of the Sonirath going for Exfer, that's a surprise. To me, at least. That's not a thing I expect to see out of most runners in that selection of spells. So I'm very familiar with the red mages, but one of the things that's nice in this seed is that you don't have to worry about any of those permissions, right? So, at least the runners have that going for them. Should make things a little bit zippier in that regard.
Right, yeah. Yeah, having that Sage blurst for the red mage ameliorates a lot of that stuff, makes it far more comfortable, I think, to go looking for some of the higher level or more obscure spells. Also, Sonny, man of the people, giving us a hello to the Hooray Dwarf, so GG, Sonny.
Also picking up a Katana -1 from what I saw. So I honestly don't know if that's as good as that Vorpal +5. I think it's pretty close.
I couldn't begin to tell you. The TNT turn-in ended up being an X-Cal, which is great for every party but Sonirath's.
Sonirath is going to have a money sword to sell.
That's true. Sonny can just turn it into instant liquid capital.
Team Vorpal sometimes seems to be winning tonight.
Yeah, at least to this point, anyway. So given the spells that we've seen at level 6, I would take a hard pass to everything but wall.
Yep, pretty much. I am not impressed by pretty much any of that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
You can say that. You can also say that it's quite fortunate that they don't have to spend all that money buying level 6 spells.
That's true. That is true. Alright, so looks like a lot of the runners are converging. Bert has dipped his toes into Marsh, and Sonny and Hate are converging around Earth Cave-ish. So, be interesting.
Seeing Exit and Lock 2 in the 5th level spells. That Lock 2 is nice because it addresses any concern you had about those 3rd levels being so rich and, not being able to fit Lock in there.
Right, yeah. Also, Exit is nice to have too, although of course they have level 2 warp, so maybe not quite as nice, but still not the worst thing in the world to have.
I think the Exit plays a lot better for everybody but Sonirath. Just because Sonny's going to have so many casts, right? Because he has 3 mages.
Right.
Everybody else with 2 mages, it can get a little tight, depending on what you're trying to warp out of.
Right.
I think in Ordeals, it's going to make the biggest difference. And we'll see from there. Opal Bracelet -2 in the top chest of first floor Earth, and a crystal in the bottom right.
Well, it looks like that early Earth dive is at least paying, some dividends for Sonny. I think if I see, I was trying to see where Hate had gone as far as what he was picking up. He just went to the top.
Went to that top chest, and that's where that bracelet was. Okay. So we might see just a quick check at the tiles. But who knows? They might skip out on it. This is really a walking kind of flag set, right?
Yeah.
Just take whatever you get.
Yeah, especially given the sheer number of good spellcasters that all of these parties have. Yeah, I don't see there being a whole lot of a need to do any sort of a substantive grind per se.
I don't even think of it as a substantive grind, right? Like, you can take an encounter 3 or 4 times and, get yourself some fade charges. the level that these runners are all at, they don't have a lot of even their third levels, right? So that's kind of a big deal, right? Like when you don't have the slots to cast your fade or whatnot, that's a hard thing to try to dive dungeons. And Goat's Pirate showing off his phenomenal kill the Hooray Dwarf option, where he explodes into a pile of gore.
You say phenomenal, I say tragic.
He is freeing that Hooray Dwarf from a single word existence.
Okay. So
it is the truest mercy.
Speaking of mercy, that blaze was not merciful.
Donnie is checking the tiles here. We see a Sphinx in the hall. Oh, and yeah, there's that blaze.
Yep.
Turn order, please.
Well, the Sphinx finally doesn't cast blaze for once or twice, so yay! Time to check the second tower real quick. Oh, womp womp. So it's interesting, I will note that you've got two runners, Sonny Wrath and Hate, who are in Earth, and Bird is the only one of the four runners to have the rod to go ahead and dive Earth. So I assume with Warp and Exit, they're just going ahead and checking all these chests to make sure there are no other key items lurking for them.
Yeah, so there's 6 chests on the second floor, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chests on the third floor. So, you can get 11 chests, and warping out is still faster than vanilla.
Right.
The downside is definitely Bert is going to be able to just, power on down.
Yeah, and grab. Oh, well.
There's the waffle. That is the root and the canoe. Wow, this is feeling like that practice seed that I had.
So, I have a question for you. You were talking about a runner who didn't know about one of these 3 chest rooms. Was it that room?
It was.
Oh.
And it was a randomized loose within the entire Earth dungeon. And it was the Oxyale, so it was locking him out of progression.
Oh dear. It would have served a similar purpose in this seed too, because, well, the canoe opens up a metric ton of things.
Yeah, you get access to Waterfall, Onrak Town, which means if you have the Oxyale, you can go to Sea Shrine. Ordeals, Volcano, Ice Cave. That's a lot of different chests.
Mm-hmm. I would not even know how many chests that is. I'm not going to try to count that many.
I'm going to try, but it's ill-advised. So we have 9 in Ordeals.
Okay.
There's 6 plus the robot in the Waterfall, so we're up to 15. Sea Shrine is the one that I don't know of, and that was going to take me the longest to count. But
yeah.
Let's say like 35-ish.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of a lot of things, we have 4, counting the crystal, 4 key item pickups so far in Earth alone.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And that's just, by the way, on those first 3 floors. We haven't even gotten to the floor that has the most treasure chests.
32 chests in Sea Shrine. Thank you, Shadowed Flames.
Thank you, Shadowed. I would never have known that.
Shadowed Flames, our tracker for this evening, keeping us honest. And certainly we can't do it ourselves.
No, not it.
Gerwolves.
Ow, ouch.
Okay, well, Sarda giving us a nice little chunk of rock, conveniently placed since we can just stop in Melmond and translate that. But, with with it just being basically a random chest when you turn it in, I don't know that you want to walk to Lefane.
Yeah, if I felt like I really had to, I would definitely park, put up a tent, run down real quick and see, and then if it's nothing I like, just hit that reset button faster than Usain Bolt. But that's even still probably losing a little bit too much time on it.
Goats Pirate also checking those spike tiles in the Hall of Giants and finding all of the bad news in there. And resetting back to Melmond.
Yeah. Yeah, that blaze is not... Oh boy, that blaze is no fun for anyone.
So I am really curious how far Bert's going to get, and if he's going to get Gerwolved to the fourth dimension, because, you know, those zaps will very easily sweep somebody out, and those Gerwolves are on several floors of Earth. So, the Arsnecks also not playing nice with their stun touch.
No, they're not. Of course, that's just part of the joys of Final Fantasy Randomizer, when random innocuous enemy decides, oh, by the way, hello, I have fill in the blank today. How about that?
So I think he's doing the best he can to get away from this, and getting away from this is inclusive of Ice 3, which is going to take out most of the Arsnecks. There was a failed run, but... Oh, no, there wasn't. He actually gets away. Cool.
I will say, I think that might be one of my least favorite moments in a run. Whenever I am just thinking, okay, so I'm going to try to run with a couple of my guys and then kill them with another couple. And then somebody gets a big spell off. It doesn't kill one of the many. And then the run, which has failed to happen 5 times before, actually succeeds. Oh well, c'est la vie.
We see Bert headed in the direction of what is sometimes referred to as Earth TFC. That freaking chest with a wizard stick in it. So, you know, handy if they go up against Carrie early on and want to use that for the confuse.
Yeah. So, it's not the worst thing ever.
The Asher Trunk always pays out. Today it paid out 7 gold.
Yes, very lucrative. Pardon me while I run to the bank.
You know, some years back, a landlord of mine got a check for a class action lawsuit. 15 cents. I told him, when you go to the bank, don't let him nickel and dime you. Feeling that way about that chest.
Yeah, I'd say. My goodness.
Honeyrath apparently faced some adversity of some sort, because I just saw 2 of his light warriors get scraped up off the pavement, spatula out. I'm gonna guess it was Gerwolves.
I admit I've been sort of glancing at some of the other runners, so forgive me, Sonny Wrath. We missed whatever did that to you.
Hate finding the bad news that he's going to have to go back to Earth sooner than later, as Burt Reynolds is the first to get onto Earth 4 and is headed up towards Lich's Armory. Actually, it looks like Hate's going river fishing. I think he's probably headed to Volcano, hit up the Armory.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, especially in a seed like this, that is pretty much the highest density room in the game.
Nothing but cash in Lich's Armory today. We'll see what Lich's bedroom in the bottom left holds.
I don't think I've ever heard it called that.
Oh, it has many more colorful names, but that's the one that's appropriate for SpeedGaming.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bert pulling out that light axe, showing off the utility of that item, just in time for the thief to run.
There you go, case in point.
And now we are getting our first look at the Volcano Armory floor on Hate's screen. 2 Gersharks. That, I think, means I mean, I should have guessed this earlier, but I think we're on B-side tiles, and I think that can get big eyes as well. I would be very tempted to take this for a little bit.
If these are indeed the same flags, as in precisely the same flags as the Duckling Weekly, I think they're A-side because it did say that it shuffled the trap tiles, but it did not use alternate formations, so I think that's A-side.
Okay. All right, so it'll probably pop up a Wiz-Sahag in one of these times that he goes in there, but this is still getting him some of those early levels that I was mentioning before, where you don't have to take a lot of fights, but just, getting to level 10, as he's done in 2 fights, is a lot of safety.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Bert taking down Speed Bump 1 is pretty much guaranteed with the 2 Fade casters.
Yeah. Yeah, no risk in that, really.
So that's got to be a good feeling for Bert. He's going to be able to just finish off Melmond in one swoop and get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, there's that Wiz-Sahag you were talking about a moment ago.
Yeah, they're... I sometimes joke about the Wiz-Sahag, R-Sahag packs in the Sea Shrine, because in vanilla they're unrunnable. It was like, that was the, was it the Zeus Gauntlet, the Thor Hammer, whatever it was in Ordeals, right? That's what they were there for. How did I not notice the loot getting pulled on Earth 3 prior?
Yeah, wow. It was in that first room in Earth 3. So our runners, well, I mean, they don't have all the things they need to go into go mode, but they're starting to creep that direction fairly quickly.
And now that our runners are all, getting their canoe, and we're going to start seeing that route divergence that we really want to see, and is going to confuse the heck out of us in the comms booth.
Yeah, well, hey, that's kind of what there's 2 of us for, and that's why we have Shadow keeping our heads on straight with all the tracking.
Absolutely. Okay, so things we're still looking for that are important to go mode. We still need an Oxyale, a key, a cube, and a chime. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, but if Earth Cave taught us anything, it could take the next hour for us to find all those items, or it could take the next 5 minutes, conceivably.
That is the blessing and curse that is Oops All Loose.
Yep.
It is the worst variety of Captain Crunch. Just gonna throw that out there. We've got Oops All Crunch Berries, Oops All Loose, not so great.
Yeah. Speaking of, well, not necessarily crunch berries per se, but one of the things I like about the more recent changes to the randomizer is you might have noticed that I think it was Hate who had his Ruby become a waffle. And that is, hello Crown, that is a setting in the fun percent that changes the Ruby to any variety of different things. You can conceivably change it to just about anything in a certain list. And I like also, one thing that I noticed in one of my practice seeds is not only does it change the item itself, but if it changes it to something that's other than sweet, it will actually change the flavor text when the Titan eats it too. I really like that.
The herb and the crown, both in the Volcano Armory. Thor Hammer, very nice find.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting a lot of those turn-in items, which, of course, as we've mentioned before, could... Hi, Ribbon! How are you? Which could mean nothing, and could mean everything. Depends. We've already had 2 incentive locations actually be incentives, so shock and amazement. It could yield more. But that's part of it. You never quite know.
I really like Hate's play here. He got those levels off of the Gersharks, knowing that he had a house available. So as soon as he cleared the armory, warped out or exited out, got his spell charges, he is ready to go for carry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is a very good change to make because, yeah, you keep the levels, you keep the stuff, and you already know there's those couple of key item pickups. And with the house, just boom, everything's back. Carrie's about to get iced in the face, and it's probably not going to be too terribly problematic for Hate unless he runs into something a little more painful.
That is some interesting coloration on those wizards for Bert's side.
Oh, goodness.
Bert is in the ice cave, so that route divergence we were talking about. Gonna be a while before he gets to any chests. Looks like Hate had to reset back out. I did not see what took him out there.
Oh, it was, I think, giant. It was a giant Agama pair, or I think it was giant Agama set that started kind of giving him the business a little bit.
There are a few encounters in the volcano that can be a little bit scary, but, you know, at the same time, I'm actually more afraid for Bert, because Ice Cave is a dangerous place.
Yeah. There are a few encounters in Volcano that can mess you up. There are a lot of encounters in Ice that can mess you up.
Okay, so we see Goat's Pirate stocking up in Crescent Lake. I imagine he will be headed through the river system here soon as well.
Oh, yes. I would definitely imagine so.
Bottle on Hate's side. This volcano is pretty loaded.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And Bert just picked up a pro ring over in Ice Cave, which is maybe not as momentous as a key item pickup, but it's still a nice find.
I will never turn down a pro ring for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Diesel Pilot saying the truth here. Sometimes it feels like the trackers need an executive assistant to go take care of things, and I feel it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's especially when you're trying to do 4 runners at once, and especially on a seed like this where you never know when a key item's going to pop up. You can't really let off the trigger for a second. It's definitely salute to handling such a workload.
Absolutely. I did see Hate picked up a mage stick in the top left room, so that is handy. Casts Fire 2 whenever you use it in battle, so that's nice.
Yeah, that can definitely come in handy, especially if you run up against particularly some undead mobs. We've already seen that light axe, of course, then you've got the mage stick, and then you have your 2 spellcasters, and so, well, good luck anything undead. Hello again.
Oxy Ale. Wow, this volcano.
It's definitely about to blow, or it is blowing, I guess, as the case were, given just how much good stuff is in there.
Yeah, Professor Renderer, that Vorpal +5 was in the very first chest of the Temple of Fiends. It has been taunting our runners from about 1.5 minutes in.
Oh, yeah. And Starfall phrases it better than I did, so thank you, Starfall. Much appreciated. Unfortunately, Bert's dip through the ice cave, I mean, outside of that pro ring, didn't really yield anything, so...
Yeah, and, Bert was talking the other day in Discord that he likes to take things from a proximity standpoint as he's going through these all loose seeds. So I expect him to be headed straight to the volcano here. And, that's going to be before he considers any other locations.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I would be extremely surprised if he went anywhere else.
So here's some convergence, as we're now all headed in the direction of the volcano. Ooh, Caribs with heat. That's a nasty 8-pack.
Yeah. If nothing else, I mean, heat is not a super terrible spell, but heat times 8 equals pretty much anything will get cooked.
Thankfully, Bert getting away from that.
Yeah.
And for the very briefest of moments, all 4 runners are in the volcano. I say that because I don't expect Carrie to last particularly long here. Though, Hate's going the buff route. It's not just casting Fade over and over, so that's a little surprising to me. But, he's in the position to do the thing.
Yeah, I admit I'm a little surprised by that approach also, especially considering, unfortunately, that fighter just didn't seem to be doing a whole lot of damage, but now we see Ice 3s coming out, which are also not doing all that much damage. Apparently, we have ourselves a little bit of a beefy carry tonight.
Well, Carrie always is a bit resistant to magic. She has a very high MDef stat in vanilla. MDef doesn't get scaled in the randomizer because there's no way to properly scale it at all. But, Tate gets it done. We see our first orb lit. Oh, no, second, because Bert had the Lich kill.
Right. Yeah, Bert got his first kill just below 30 minutes, and Tate gets his first just below 40 minutes.
So I'm curious what Hate's next play is. We know the rest of the runners are going to just be in Volcano for the next, 5 or so minutes. Sonny is the closest to getting out of here, but a little bit of danger with his party by comparison to Hate's, because I think that Sonny didn't take as many encounters to level up.
Nah, just from looking at the numbers, it doesn't look like it.
I don't know if he's healed since he's been walking over all this volcano. So.
But, okay, that's true. It can be a little deceptive in the depths of the volcano here.
Better than you asking about the game Diesel's referring to. I think that's Super Mario Brothers 3 Randomizer, which a little bit different genre.
Yeah, slightly different kettle of fish. I admit, I don't think I've seen an SMB3 randomizer. I might have to see about looking around for one of these days.
Okay, so it looks like Hate may have just gone off to restock, use the inn, get his spell slots back so you can use the house at Ice on his way out.
Yeah.
Because he picked up a house in Volcano.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Houses this seed are a little bit expensive. They're a bit closer to their vanilla price in that they're over 2,000. Usually they get scaled, under 3,000 is where we typically see. But, sometimes you get like your 500 gold houses and it's, I'm sleeping in luxury.
Yeah, and whenever I see a house that's under $1,000, I'm just sitting here going, okay, where's my money? Where's my money?
And so many folks have been saying that they're jealous of the housing market that we see for these Warriors of Light, that they can afford to get multiple houses in general.
Yeah, I'm jealous of them. Me and my dinky one-bedroom apartment here, and just like, hey, sign me up. I'll be a light warrior. I'll toss around some sword chucks for a bit.
Sonny Wrath going full fade for this carry fight, but I think he used the wizard stick on the thief, and a carry just broke out of that confused in time to get terminated.
All right, so good going on Sonny's end, lighting up that first orb at about 42 minutes.
So Hate is making the play to Ice, going to get all the bad news that Bert has already had.
Yep. That's unfortunate.
Well, at least he'll have gotten a little bit of money to afford some of the sleeping arrangements, etc.
Right.
Greatly Puff asking how the seed is going. Well, so far so good. We've seen a loaded Earth. We've seen a loaded volcano. Um, so far so good.
Yep. Hasn't been anything terribly unpleasant. The runners have been teased basically since minute 1 because they got a Vorpal +5 in the very first chest in Temple of Fiends.
And this is a very kind seed to all of the classes that are brought, which is a total of 3. The fighter with plus 20% hit, the thief with plus 15 vitality, he'll actually survive the seed, and Red Mage Sage. So we're seeing a generous class spread, with Sonny Wrath the only on-stream runner who didn't take a fighter. He took 3 Red Mages and a thief. But everybody's got a thief. Everybody else than Sonny has thief, fighter, 2 red. And, we do have a number of off-stream runners as well. I'm kind of curious how they're doing things here, but total of 8 runners in this community race.
Yep. We got ourselves a pretty good crew. Excuse me. We got ourselves a pretty good crew for it being about 11:15 Eastern time.
I'll be honest, I've got the day off tomorrow because I'm getting ready to paint my office, so it doesn't even occur to me what time it is.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, I've got the weekend off because I'm doing a charity thing on Saturday, so pretty much same here. And that's why I signed up, because I'm going, well, I have a grand total of nothing to do tomorrow, so I can sleep then.
Sonny Wrath also making the ice play. Also going to be disappointed.
I get the feeling everybody's going to be disappointed at some point. It's just Bert was the first to be disappointed.
I think you're right. Ghost Pirate is almost assuredly going to be headed in this direction after he cleans up Carrie. But, the big question is, where do our runners go after this? And I think that the direction that most of them will go is Waterfall and Sea Shrine. Probably just straight to Sea Shrine and see if they can pick up their go mode in there.
Well, I don't think Northern Docks are on, so I don't believe we can do that yet.
Ooh. That would be spicy indeed.
Yep. So I was going to say that assuming this is the same seed set as the Duckling Weekly, my next direction, personally, would be Ordeals.
That would pretty much have to be the case.
Yeah.
You are correct. No Northern Docks this seed.
Okay, good. I'm glad I was remembering correctly. Yeah, if Northern Docks were on, then definitely Waterfall on rack would be the play, because they have the Oxyale, so they can just go ahead and gallivant through there, and the 70 bajillion chests that Sea Shrine has.
I believe Shadowed Flames told us it was 32, and I believe the tracker math.
I'm still going to go with 70 bajillion. It just sounds more fun.
All right. Hate is headed off in the direction of Ordeals. Bert not far behind. Bert took the easier dock river-wise to get to both ice and volcano. So, whereas Hate had landed in I think, generally just more accessible to the rest of the world location.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's really nothing wrong with either. It's just simple preference, really. Going ahead and using the $70,000+ that Hate has to buy some of those level 4 spells that he couldn't afford earlier, which is definitely understandable.
Yeah, and now that he has the charges to actually use them.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, I forgot, we have an herb turn in. Who knows? Yeah, it could actually yield something. A large knife +4.
That is something. It's just not a very good something.
I shall give you my best cutlery
Oh, Shadowed giving us the full skinny on the chest and Sea Shrine, so much obliged. Don't worry.
Yep, that checks out.
I'm a history teacher, not a math teacher. I'm not going to grade you on that.
Okay, so Bert is trying to clean up his miscellaneous turn-ins. And Iron +1. He resets back to Elfland. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big womp womp.
Okay, Goats Pirate and Sonny Wrath both right around Crescent Lake, and they are probably going to be headed in the Ordeals direction now as well. Bert pulling up into the river dock, and Hate trying to get through the pillar maze. Now, I will say the pillar maze is a little bit special to me right now because after casting 2 races in Xeno's Mystery Weekend, I saw multiple seeds with vanilla pillars turned on because the runners couldn't see it. And so it's a little bit of a trip to go back. Oh, and an adamant in the linked chest. That's interesting. So yeah, it's a little bit of a trip going back to randomized pillars. But Hate gets through.
I will admit, if somebody ticked the vanilla pillars flag on me, I would be completely lost because it's been, oh dear heavens, I would say going on 30 years since I played the vanilla game.
It's the bottom pillar of each group.
Okay.
All
right.
That's the trick.
Okay. Fair enough. So, just in case I ever run a Xeno's Mystery Seed, which the chances of that are probably about as good as me winning the lottery because I am garbage at this game. But if I do, now I know.
Bert gave me a bit of a history lesson as I was messing around. You know, I said up front, if I was a seed submitter for that, I would have submitted some variety of improved vanilla and watched as people got very confused. And I was playing around with that, and we get the floater out of the vanilla incentive box in Ordeals.
Hey!
Time to fly. I mean, we knew it was coming out of here, or it was going to be like the key, right?
Yeah.
Latoya giving us $1.77.
Well, thank you very much, madam.
I might buy myself a Snickers.
Well, you enjoy that, buddy. Hey, you're talking to somebody from Alabama here. I can pretty much match Southern accents easily.
It's true. I, as a Northern boy, I am not quite as good at the Southern accents.
Well, I tell you what, you're not missing much, really. Alright, so, now that we have a floater and we can fly around places, that opens up, of course, the waterfall and sea shrine combination that we were talking about earlier. It also opens up all those Cardia boxes and all those boxes in Sky, so suddenly the world is your oyster, or I don't know if you'd phrase it the other way around, but you certainly have a lot to do now.
Yeah, and you know, it's a nice opportunity for Bert and Hate to both catch up on the Matoya check and to be disappointed by that.
Yeah.
And now that they're in the air, we're going to see, you know, where things go. And it looks like Goats Pirate is right around that floater as well. The Adamant turn in, get disappointed by that. Hate checking the Cardia boxes. Defense sword, big find.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely come in handy.
Bert headed straight for promotion. Get that Vorpal slapped on somebody. Get that X-Cal slapped on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially considering that the way that these blessings worked out. I mean, there's really no need to take a black belt, which is the only job that would really issue any sort of promotion. So go ahead and get that tail turned in, because the tail automatically is one of those key items that you start with in this seed. So no need to look for it because it's already there.
So, caster math from the math inept here. So, as I recall Dead Pulse saying, because that's going to be my caveat here, right? That's my disclaimer that holds me not accountable for how bad my math is. that Excal, I believe, normally has its hit break point for its 5th hit at 34. At a +4, you basically take 1 level off for each plus. So that brings it down to 30. And with the +20 hit percent, that brings it to like 24 or 23. So they're getting 5 hits on that fighter with the X-Cal real fast.
Oh, that's nice. To address Sabertail's question in chat, I do remember somebody picking up a Dragon -3 arm. I think it was armor. Pretty sure it was armor. I do not remember where it was, though.
I remember the Ice 3, but that's it. Sonny Wrath making it is a play, right? It is a play that makes sense if you're trying to close the location, to go finish off Earth. Now, Sonny Wrath had already cleared 1 through 3, and then found the rod afterwards because the rod was at the sages.
Right.
So, I understand this play. You're looking at 8 boxes and an orb, right?
Yeah.
There's a chance there's a floater here. You're gambling 8 boxes and an orb versus 9 boxes at ordeals with this. So
yeah,
it's
it
a
definitely
tough
makes
choice.
it makes sense, especially considering that there's this bad guy sitting at the bottom of Earth that you do have to kill. So yeah, it makes sense.
Shadow Flames validating my claim. I'm pleased I could do caster math. Level 23 for that hit break point. 34 for the next one up.
Oh my goodness.
34 you're not going to hit in this flag set, most likely. You'd have to hit multiple war mechs and take them, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, another story. In my playthrough of the Duckling Weekly yesterday, I hit 3 war mechs in a row.
Did you take
all? Yeah, oh yeah. I took them in all. Yeah, I was happy. It's not the only thing I was happy about with that seed, but I was happy.
So, Bert doing a couple cleanup checks here, turned in the bottle for about $3, headed over to Lefane. I think that the Lefane check is going to result in a quick reset back. That's my guess.
I would expect so too, yes.
We have Hate running through the waterfall, which taking a couple fights here. Mud goals aren't the best experience, but they give you something. They are, however, resistant to your ices.
Yeah, I think Mudgalls are, I believe, resistant to pretty much all magic, if I remember correctly. At least that's what I've seen in my experience.
Yeah, pretty much all of the vanilla magic they're resistant to.
Okay.
Once you get the non-elementals like Fade and Nuke. Yep, $1.62 out of the Lefanish man. One of my more recent seeds, he gave me the TNT and told me to go avenge the Sky Warriors with that. I was a little concerned.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that the Lefanish would be quite so vituperative, but yeah, I guess on occasion.
Rhodes Pirate headed in to do his Cardia checks, gets his defense sword, has already promoted. And Burt Reynolds headed up to the waterfall to a high five with Hate, who is very close to warping out.
And so Shadowed pointing out something that we had kind of at least alluded to a little bit earlier, which is Katana versus Vorpal, and it looks like tonight the winner is Vorpal. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, that is a big difference. So congratulations, Vorpal, on winning this seed.
Yeah.
Sonny Wrath remembering now that Northern Docks are not turned on, and hopefully remembers that Ordeals is a location you can dock at. I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Sonny Wrath is experienced enough to make that pivot.
Yeah. And given the direction he's going now, yeah, he's realizing, okay, Ordeals is the next play.
Rune Sword +5. Probably just going to get slapped on a red mage and never used. Procape -1 off the robot. Some money, some weapons. He's just going to reset right out. Go straight into Sea Shrine.
Yep.
I like that play.
Yeah.
You know, when the best thing you get is a sword that you don't care about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's and he already had that reset point right by Onrak, so he was counting on that possibly happening. Not a surprise at all, really. Bert is probably one of the best in the community about routing and knowing exactly where to go and how to go about it.
Wave high to the out of bounds bat. That was on hate screen just a second ago.
Oh, I missed Oob. I was too busy looking at Bert's screen, darn it.
Hate is going to save the loot and head on down towards C very shortly. Just checking out the weaponry, making sure he equips the new stuff. It is nice. One of the more recent flag changes in, I believe, the 4.2.0 version, it allows you to see the item information in your equipment screen rather than having to stop at a shop. Very helpful.
Yes. Very much so. Especially for noobs like me who definitely don't remember stats for weapons. Yes, that helps out immensely.
That is a very sad gold -3 bracelet.
Yeah, yes it is.
That is a very sad level 7 magic shop.
Oh gosh. I do see, though, looking at the level 7 magic in Gaia, you did at least have Cure 4 and Nuke, so probably not getting many charges, if any, for those, but maybe in a blue moon sometime.
Yeah, and one of the concerns that you have with that, you know, just thinking through the progression, is the Sage Red Mage still progresses at Red Mage spell slot levels. So that's that's a little bit slower than your White Mage and your Black Mage, a couple levels back, and you know, I would not expect to see more than one 7th level slot for most of these runners as they head into the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yeah.
Bert is powering through the Sharknado floor as fast as he can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think, let's see, just looking at his tracker sheet, well, it's still lacking a few Go mode items because we don't see Chime, Cube, or Key, so there's still plenty of boxes to open.
And I think that Bert did right side of the split chest and then headed down Kraken side. Hasn't done mermaids yet if I haven't, you know, blacked out.
He has not done mermaids yet, no.
Okay. So, you know, still, I would say the lion's share of chests up that way. You know, you're looking at 18, I think, between those two floors, which, you know.
That's a few.
It's a few.
Of course, the good news.
Dark Lich.
Of course, the good news is most of those are on the mermaid floor, where you have to worry about a grand total of 0 encounters. So there's that.
Sonny Wrath now in the air.
And since we're at the hour mark in this seed, let's go ahead and toss a few shout-outs here. First off, say hi to all of our runners, please. Sonny Rath, Burt Reynolds, Hate13, and Goats Pirate. If you haven't followed them yet, go follow them. They're all great runners, and they're all wonderful for giving us the opportunity to see their screens tonight and be entertained by them. Also, go follow all of the folks who are helping us out tonight. Of course, we definitely appreciate SpeedGaming for letting us steal their channel for at least a couple hours. And then we have Shadowed keeping our heads on straight as a tracker, and Saracen putting up with me in the booth, so much obliged to both of you.
Hey, it's been a good time. At least I think so.
Oh yeah, I've very much enjoyed it.
Okay, so Bert has taken down the Kraken. And it's time to walk back in. 3 orbs on Bert's side. Those are expensive and very sad gold bracelets.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Goats Pirate is giving us a preview of the mermaid's items and found a black shirt and a power brace or power bonk, so not bad. Not key items, but they ain't bad.
Sun -1. Womp womp.
Yeah, speaking of sad.
Zeus Gauntlet, House.
Mucho dinero.
Yeah. Good evening, Zero Cool. Welcome.
Welcome
It
to
has
Oops
been-
All Loose.
Yeah. So one of the other interesting flags that came in with the 4.2 update to the randomizer is when you open the chests, you get to see the stats of the item. Ooh, we're getting a cube out of mermaids here. That's nice. So as you're seeing these chests get opened, you're able to see the stats on the items, which is really handy if you're not super familiar with them. Also, if you're doing some of our more interesting flag sets, you know, if you're using, say, Weaponizer or spells like item magic, you know, that sort of thing, being able to see what those do is very handy. So that's a new addition, and it can really help, especially when you're picking up weapons, to compare to what you have. So I think that that's a great addition. It makes the randomizer just that much more accessible to people.
Yeah, absolutely. I would very much echo this. Also,
And we got a chime.
yeah, I was going to say, I was trying to figure out exactly what chest that was in, because I saw Bert pick it up, but I wasn't sure exactly where he was located.
The chime was next to the stairs to mermaids. There was also a key in there.
Yeah, and the cube in Mermaids as well.
So we are in go mode for Burt Reynolds. We're very close to go mode for Goats Pirate.
And I'm actually, I'm a little worried about Goats Pirate now because he's gone into the to the Kraken side. I don't know if he's going to go back to get that chime in that chest.
That would be a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I was mentioning earlier my issue that I'd had in the Duckling Weekly with missing one chest and it basically just completely borking my seed. I'm afraid that might be what Goats Pirate has just stumbled into.
So, meanwhile, Bert, taking advantage of the encounters outside of the Mirage Tower, just to pick up a little bit of experience before walking in.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to turn down a good side of steak and wings for experience around here? I certainly won't.
He's level 19 headed into Sky. That is a reasonable enough level for what he has tool-wise, I think.
Yeah.
It's just, you kind of want to pick up a little bit on your way out.
Yeah, I'd say I mean, knowing how good he is at this, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes ahead and just kind of takes what he can and then goes into Topher from there. It'd be interesting to see what comes up in at least the trap tile that he's about to hit here.
And, certainly Sky is full of good experience to work with, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That Cerebus encounter is not a bad one at all. Ooh, Phantom
The
tile.
Phantom is bad, though. Oh.
Well, he's got multiple life casters. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying more bad from the fact that it gives you nothing.
So, funny story with that. One of the mystery seeds for Xeno's Mystery Weekend was a Deep Dungeon seed. And in the early iterations of Deep Dungeon, they organized the encounter table by floor based on the experience. And so there were a lot of runs where you would run into phantoms on like the first and second floor of the Deep Dungeon because it had the lowest experience.
Oh, oh god, considering how hard that hits, that's awful.
It was, and that got fixed.
That's good. Oh, that just sounds like a nightmare.
So,
I have to admit, I saw some of the chatter earlier in the Discord about the Deep Dungeon. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, so that helps fill in at least a little bit of the information there.
with Goat's Pirate walking over to Mirage, he did pick up that chime. Okay.
Alright. So we must have just missed it somehow.
I was a little scared for him, too.
Yeah.
So, Hate has taken down Kraken, is working his way through mermaids and picking up all of that fabulous loot. Sonny Wrath making his way down the Kraken side right now. Bert showing off 0 nuke charges as he goes on to the Bridge of Destiny, which really talks to the lack of levels that he's got. Now,
Yeah.
I've seen Bert do Topher with less.
Yeah.
Let's not sell him short. He is a fantastic runner. So I fully expect that he'll find a way.
He did find a way to avoid all the robot chickens on the Bridge of Destiny, so kudos to that, I suppose.
That's just sad, though. Chat, back me up. We wanted to see the robot chicken, didn't we? We did just see Tiamat get smashed.
Yeah. I mean, fast and tempers on that fighter with a super duper X-Cal will definitely help in that pursuit.
So, hey, look at that T-bone.
That's a pretty juicy steak there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3,700 experience. That's a pretty juicy steak.
I think we are seeing Bert. He's going to take a couple levels before he goes into Temple of Fiends Revisited. I respect that. He's at the point where I think he knows that people are going to be on his heels in the not too distant future. But he also knows that it's just going to be easier if he has more resources. And, a little bit of steak never did anybody bad. Especially when it's that high-end T-bone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's understandable, definitely. I mean, as we mentioned, he has done more with less. But when it's easy, when it's relatively easy to get more levels like that, then, why wouldn't you at least do a little bit of it? Okay, I am checking the... Okay, trying to see where I would check them. Okay, I was checking to see if the bosses had separate HP scaling. They do. So they're 90 to 170% HP. So I would expect that those last couple of levels that he grabbed is probably in consideration of that. I think if the HP had not been separately scaled, he probably would have just gone ahead and gone straight in.
And he is at the point of finally picking up his magic for... Well, I think he's only caring about the life cast. But he's going to go get his incentivized masa. Now, this is the only incentivized item in this entire seed. This flag set has an incentivized masa in the vanilla incentive box of Canaria locked. So there is your fabulous sword.
Congratulations.
I think he keeps that in his back pocket for most of this. So here's sort of the challenge. The masa is an excellent sword. However, it has a very low crit rate. And the XCal +4, I think, is equivalent-ish. Now, the upshot is, with that 20% hit, the fighter has a breakpoint a little bit earlier, but I don't think the fighter hits that breakpoint to get up to a 6th hit. So, there's your challenge. But hitting 23, the XCal has hit that hit breakpoint.
All right, so let's see. I think Bert went into Temple of Fiends Revisited at about an hour 13.
Mm-hmm.
And chat started making steak puns at about an hour 5.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
I mean, it is late night. We're all probably craving some sort of midnight snack.
Shadow Flame's coming in, backing up that math. Level 28 is the next hit breakpoint for the Masa. So, yeah, that's...
not happening this seed.
No, not at all. I think Bert is currently around 23, 24, as he has been taking a couple of fights, when he sees worms and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You see Hate doing some magic cleanup to get his Ninja and Knight some of their spells. Is sadly disappointed to find out that the Knight cannot learn 4th slot of 3rd level. And Sonny-Wrath working his way over to Mermaids. Pretty sure he took out Kraken on the way here, so... Alright, Shadowed backing me up on the weapon stats as well. That XCal +4 is very competitive with the Vanilla Masa. There is a flag on in this flag set for the Masa to be excluded from the weapon blurrings, so you're always going to see its vanilla stats. It is still one of the top swords in the game. Now, the reasons that you would not use it as you're going to the Temple of Fiends Revisited is that its crit rate being a little bit lower, especially versus that Vorpal, right, is not going to address the Fiend Absorb quite as well. It's going to hit most things very hard, and I would consider it to be a decent sword, perhaps on one of the Red Wizards. Maybe you tossed it on in place of the Vorpal for a while on the Ninja, but I don't see it ever replacing the XCal, and it's just because of that XCal blurring.
Yeah, the XCal stats, as Shadowed listed, makes it at least that little bit better from a critical perspective. And then, of course, we've already seen the Vorpal is holy Moses as far as critical is concerned. So, Blink, and we missed Bert taking down Lich 2, and Blink, and we mostly missed Bert taking down Carry 2, so pretty much a clinical trip through Topher so far.
When I saw the plus 20% hit on the fighter, it was pretty much a done deal, right?
Yeah.
So, Hate making his way through Earth to finish off Lich 1. So, getting a little bit of that catch-up going on. Goat's Pirate has lit all 4 orbs. and has put that Masa on a red wizard, because now you have 3 people with good swords.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, what else would you do with it at that point? You've got a really good Vorpal sword, you've got a good X-Cal, you've got a Zap that's taking down at least the ninja in Bert's party. And so, why not put a Masamune on a red mage and just, let him believe that he's a physical attacker for, a few minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, Bert's not concerned about that thief right now. He's got 3 life casters. He's probably full up on potions.
Right.
Heal pots. He could have fizzled his beef. He could have pulled a Lord Fizzle beef, forgotten to restock. It's very possible. I doubt it. I don't know that he's used terribly many at all. Breaking out the heal 1 strats.
Well, I mean, you're not going to use exit, that's for sure. Lock 2, maybe, but exit, I don't think you're exiting out of the final dungeon.
So, Lock 2 is potentially very important. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Bert onto Tia 2. We're seeing Goat's Pirate taking out some Gas Ds in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Hot on Bert's heels. Sonny with a very Technicolor Thief.
Ha, yeah.
So, my challenge here right now, I'm trying to decide which is better. Goat's Pirate's Fighter Sprite, which has like a crocodile head, or the Upside Down Knight. Like he's in a little mirror universe with the ninja.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so I'm sure you'll have a few different answers in chat, but I could not tell you.
I have very boring sprites by comparison. The only thing that's different from vanilla for mine is that they dab on the victory. So.
Oh, well, I was going to say, that makes yours a lot more interesting than mine. Mine pretty much just do what they're supposed to do. That's basically it. They're just
hour
Go
20.
ahead, we have a chaos.
Yeah, hour 20. We got a chaos, and we get some Invis 2 swirl coming out from chaos for some pretty decent damage across the board. Another Invis 2. Getting those evade stacks up. Got a heal 3 and an Invis 2 coming out from the Red Wizards. Power Bonk on the fighter. Swing out of the ninja. It's a swing, all right.
A playground swing or an offensive swing?
Who knows? Another heal 3 coming out. Power Bonk on the fighter again. 4 hits, 220-ish out of the ninja. We get a fast. We get a heal 3. Lock 2 coming out. And another. This knight is going to swing for the fences as soon as he actually puts his hand on a sword.
Meanwhile, it looks like Chaos is being fairly kind so far. I mean, Swirl's been the worst that we've seen to this point.
Don't go caster cursing. Come on. Fire 3. Doing Fire 3 things. It's going to take down a little bit of the hit points on that top Red Wizard, but otherwise not a big deal. Poison Smoke, terminating that low hit point Red Wizard.
Well,
See another fast come out.
I guess I did caster curse a little bit. Whoops.
Nuke. Bringing that knight down to 21 hit points, but 7 hits, critical hits, terminated Chaos. Burt Reynolds is the first on-stream and first overall in our race tonight.
All right, GG, Burt Reynolds, finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, 31 seconds.
All right. We see Goat's Pirate taking down Carry 2. Meanwhile, Sonny Wrath into the Temple of Fiends Revisited as well. And we have Hate going to clean up Tia 1 and get his Sky experience taken care of. $127 boxes out of 241 on Burt Reynolds' side. I just want to say that's impressive for an Oops All Loose. These can go a lot longer than this.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think in the seed that I ran yesterday, I ended up with I think 195. So, my goodness. And yeah, he managed to do it in, of course, expeditious fashion, as is per normal.
Yeah, and one of the things with the Oops All Loose flag sets is, yes, there's a bit of luck, but there's also quite a bit of, planning around, do I take this isolated check before I go to an area that's dense? So, one of the things that really paid off was grabbing that rod out of Crescent Lake before going to Earth, which I think he was the only runner who managed that. Burt Reynolds in chat talking about the experience of the seed here a bit. Skipping all of Mirage Sky was a big bonus. That is 52
Absolutely.
chests of Horrid.
Yeah.
Goat's Pirate with a dicey situation. We see the Masa swinging Red Wizard rusing up. Hopefully he can salvage this Kraken 2 fight.
Yeah,
Zap, ineffective.
Yeah, fortunately that Zap doing absolutely nothing, so it's a war of attrition at this point.
I mean, unfortunately, the Masa also doing basically nothing.
Yeah.
But Fade taking down Kraken 2. He'll be able to pick up the rest of his party. Probably unclench a little bit. Breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine.
Bert saying that Chaos showed him that he had just the right number of levels. 100%. 20 hit points left on the night. Whew. A little scary. Scary.
Yeah, hanging on the edge, but definitely GG's for pulling that off. It turned into quite the show right at the end, but a show it was indeed.
Goat's Pirate, I don't know if the ninja got killed by something or if he just opted not to bring it up.
I don't think he brought it back. I think he just left it down because I saw him pulling everybody else back up after that Kraken fight, but I didn't see him doing anything with the ninja, so I think just left him down.
Single-digit heal pots was that Shadow Flame noticed. So, yep, that's a good reason to leave somebody down.
Yeah.
So we're seeing Ruse in defense out of Goat's Pirate going into the Tia 2. Fire 3 out of our Dragon Boss. Meanwhile, Sonny Wrath taking out Lich 2, speed bump confirmed. Onto the fire floor. Hate going to stock up for his Topher dive. In white shirts out of Goat's Pirate. I don't remember where the white shirt was, but that is a handy find when you feel that you are a bit resource squeezed.
I'm afraid I don't remember either. I did see the black shirt pick up, but not the white shirt.
So Hate making his first dive in. Meanwhile, Sonny Wrath on carry 2.
And Goat's Pirate just hanging on with a couple of party members again in that Tia fight. Lost one of his mages before he was able to take down Tiamat. So, whew, definitely
Does get onto the Chaos floor, though.
Yep, that's what counts.
Sonny Wrath getting the business from carry 2. Down to 14 hit points on the Thief, 58 on one of the Red Wizards, and 2 down. Meanwhile, Goat's Pirate on to Chaos. There's a swirl. That's not good.
Oh no, it isn't. No, not at all.
So one of the challenges, along with the heal pots being single digits before, is that he used his heal 3 charges out of combat to try to get his party up. So he's scraping the bottom of the barrel here as far as resources.
Ooh. Oh yeah, oh boy. Goats might still be able to pull this out, but it's looking a little rough.
He resets out.
Yeah. That's
Can't blame
definitely
him.
Understandable, yeah.
Now the question I have is he walking into this with a full set of heal pots? It is very easy to forget to go shop if you've had that situation.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, we may just have to see if we can take a look whenever he gets out of a battle in which he needs to heal, which this might end up being that battle if the Gasties don't go down too fast.
Sonny Wrath pulling Kraken 2. And there's a lot of thinking going on with spell selection. Seeing a Lock 2 out of one, Ice 3 out of another, defense on the Ninja, Brack out of the last one. Brack, nothing doing. Zap takes out the 4th Red Wizard. Hannigan in chat mentioning baned through the ribbon on his last hit against Chaos and had forfeited out of the race. I totally understand that frustration. And we are joined in the booth by Burt Reynolds, our winner on stream. Burt, congratulations. GG.
GG, Burt.
Burt working through a little bit of technical difficulties with his mic.
And while he is, I'll go ahead and mention that we have had a second place finisher. Devious RNG has finished in second place with an official time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, 31 seconds. So GG to Devious.
GG, Devious.
And also, unfortunately, Sonny had to go ahead and step away from the race as well. So definitely GG's to Sonny Wrath for pushing through this seed and unfortunately pushing up against the wall that was Kraken 2. But we are joined in chat now also by Sonny Wrath. So GG, Sonny Wrath.
GG, Sonny.
Might help if I remember that I'm on push talk. Thank you. It was all right. I mean, I just didn't want to dive back into Dover, honestly.
I can understand that. Did look like Kraken 2 gave you the business there, and as the fish does.
Kraken 2 is just our standard gatekeeper.
And I finally got my mic working.
GG,
Hey,
Bert.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys. GG.
So, thinking about routing in the seed, we had Bert as the only person that I can remember on stream stopping over at Crescent Lake before heading into Earth. I think that sort of set the pace as we looked at the rest of the seed. How did you both feel about routing as you went through?
Well, there's a couple like different schools of thought of routing an all loose seed. There's like do all the close things to you, like proximity routing, or there's go to the place where there's the most chests. But what I tried to do on this run was I went to the easiest dungeons first. Like all the easiest places that I get out of the way first without diving a dungeon, like Marsh before Earth, right? Ice before Volcano. And that seemed to work out pretty well for me because I didn't have any problems fighting anything or like wiping to anything weird. But there was some unluck in there and some luck as well. So Crescent Lake before Earth because it's easier.
I gotcha. How about for you, Sonny?
It was pretty much just proximity routing for me because, like Bert already covered, you could go with proximity routing or level of difficulty for dungeon, or even just go off of the chest density routing. But for me, I just went proximity.
One of the other things that I noted, Sonny, you pretty much last location the floater in Ordeals. And you were the last on stream to get into the sky. However, you really caught up fast. What do you think led to that in terms of your routing decisions? Like when you got into the air, what do you think made it so you could catch up?
Well, at that point, my train of thought was go to the dungeons and full clear those after I got into the air, because really at that point, the only thing I could do was head towards Sea Shrine. So that's exactly what I did.
I gotcha. Karant, do you have some questions for our runners?
Well, nothing in terms of specifics, but a general question I did want to ask. This flag set, of course, is the same flag set as we're seeing this week in the Duckling Weekly, and it is going to be the same general flag set that we're going to see in the second week of the Duckling Derby, which is going to be coming up on Sunday evening. So, did either of you have any just general pieces of advice, if any ducks are watching tonight, any advice that you would want to give them in terms of preparation for the seed that they're going to see Sunday evening?
Well, these are really chaotic flags. Like really anything can happen. Like that's true of almost every Final Fantasy randomizer seed, but especially in these ones. So I would say just find a strategy and stick to it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Bert, because you can literally be put anywhere and everywhere at any given point. Though, when it comes to making your party, don't do what I did, because I like to play stupid.
Yeah, that was the perfect fighter seed with the second box you open with a Vorpal +5.
And then Narek following it up with that XCal +4.
I went Thief 3 reds. So, yeah, I played stupid, but I also played Thieves.
Yeah, Red Mage was really good here, but I took Thief Fighter Red because I didn't want to have to spend so much money on red spells. I really only wanted to take 2 mages if they're going to buy that many spells each. I mean, even with 2 red mages, I had quite a bit of money problems in the very early game. I had to sell the katana to buy all my level 4 spells.
I wasn't too terribly worried about money, because even though I had 3 mages, I kept having the money. Because
Did you end up selling the katana or the Vorpal?
I sold the Vorpal, I sold the XCal, I sold the Dragon Mail when I found that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, since I had no fighter, I didn't need any fighter weapons, and then the Vorpal itself, granted it was +5 and I should have kept that, I went ahead and sold it just because I honestly am going to use the katana if I'm playing a Thief.
Yeah, Vorpal 5's a tiny bit better than the katana on the Thief.
Oh, yeah.
But just a little bit.
Yeah, we actually had Shadowed pulled up all the stats for us, just amazingly. And yeah, there was that little bit of difference. It was marginal, but it was there.
Well, even those marginal differences can make a huge difference in a longer race.
Yeah.
But if you sell the Vorpal early and it stops you from having to double dip a town, you probably make up that difference in the end.
That's true too.
Like, right, if you don't have to double dip or even sometimes triple dip Elfland by just selling the Vorpal, it might be worth it.
Kind of along that same school of, I found the floater as the shop item and it costs me a ribbon. It's one of those few cases where you're like, maybe I do sell a ribbon. Maybe you don't, but, it could save you a lot of time. I think the swords just work on a smaller scale.
Yeah, I'd sell an Excal and a Vorpal for a floater. I'm not sure I'd ever sell a ribbon for a floater, though.
I would never sell a ribbon for a floater unless I know I'm going to have 3 wall casters, potentially 4.
How about a Massa for a floater?
Yes.
Yeah, I might sell a Massa for a floater, too. I'll
One
find
of
an
the
Excal or
things-
something.
One of the things that surprised me this seed was just how close that Excal +4 compares to the vanilla Massa. That was another piece of information that Shadow Flames brought up in chat for us. Numerically, just so close. And I think that was kind of an interesting thing. Like, if you kept the Vorpal and you kept the Excal, there's sort of a desire to just be like, well, I guess I'd throw the Massa onto a Red Wizard, so I have 3 people with swords.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
And I mean, the other counterpoint is maybe I just get the slightly higher attack off of the Massa onto whoever was going to use the Vorpal. So that's a trick. But I mean, 3 swords is very handy for spell charge preservation.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, on stream, Goat's Pirate pulling Chaos. Round 2, I believe, because the first dive there was a potion shortage. Meanwhile, Hate the 13th on the seafloor, headed towards Kraken 2. I think Goat's Pirate is better equipped and better set up for this Chaos fight than his first dive. So looks like things are going a bit more smoothly for him here.
Yeah, it certainly seems so, considering that the first time Goat's Pirate was struggling to kind of keep party members up, came in with all 4 this time, so it looks like everything is, I think, going to work out a lot better, getting wall casts out to mitigate against any potential death issues from Chaos. So yeah, I see this attempt going much, much better.
So one thing I do want to highlight again, and this is brought up by both of our runners in the booth here, that the chaotic nature of this flag set really can mean a lot of different things as you're going through. This seed we saw a loaded earth and a loaded volcano, and that sort of thing is something you just kind of have to, you have to read on the fly, but at the same time, stick to your plan as much as you can, right? Like it's always a tricky balance when you have an all loose seed, because it can be very on the fly chaotic. So just highlighting that. Meanwhile, Goat's Pirate finishes off Chaos. Official time 1 hour 41 minutes 26 seconds is our 3rd place finisher overall. GG's to Goat's Pirate.
Absolutely, GG, Goats. And we'll see if they'll join us for an interview. Bert or Sonny Wrath, do y'all have any last comments, or before? I'm sure you guys probably want to get a good night's sleep. So, do y'all have any comments before we interview Goats?
Yes, I just thanks for putting on this race, guys. Race crews always do a great job with FFR, and I think my wife wants me to get back to her now, so I'm gonna sign out. But
Have a good night,
thanks again, guys. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
GG's, Bert. Have a good night.
Yeah, GG.
Sorry, I am around. As for final thoughts, I mean, just GG's to everybody. Thank you guys for doing the race, having me on, and just know I'm always around. So if people end up having questions, like if any of the ducks end up watching this and having questions, I'll definitely answer them as best as I can if they ask them. Otherwise, just don't do what I did and don't play stupid. Actually play with some sort of safety in mind.
Well,
I
hey,
hear you on that.
if you'd gotten nuke at level 1 or level 2 and been able to just cast your way through the whole thing, it's just how it goes sometimes.
Exactly.
Ghost Pirate confirming in the race room he is not going to be joining us for an interview tonight. I can understand. 2 hours in, you can be a little tired.
Yeah, especially considering it's 12:15 on the East Coast. So, hello to everybody from the past, I suppose.
I'm in Central Time. It is still Thursday.
I am also in Central Time. It is Thursday.
Yep, same here. That's why I said from the past.
All right, and Hate the 13th on Tia 2. The ninja is down. The first Red Wizard is at 60 hit points, but the other 2 party members are looking decently healthy. Fire 3 comes out, takes out that first Red Wizard, but Tia goes down to the Night Swing. Making the very dangerous not curing after the boss fight as you walk to Chaos's stairs. That's a scary walk, and I've seen people wipe out of the Temple of Fiends Revisited doing that. So, brave, I think, is the word that I'll use there.
You use the word brave if it works and stupid if it doesn't.
Yes.
It's a matter of perspective. So we're going to go with brave.
All right, 1 hour, 44 minutes, and about 50 seconds. Hate getting his first pull on Chaos. Seeing defensive strats coming out with a fast coming out of a ninja. Looks like an Invis 2, a white shirt, and a defense sword. Ninja sabers. We see some more Invis 2 and white shirt and Power Bonk out of the fighter. So that fighter, after this round, is going to be max evade stacks. Pretty much will only get taken down by the inevitable of nukes. So hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I believe we did see that Chaos had a nuke, so...
Yep.
But
We're seeing some heal 3s coming out. That's, I think, good to keep everybody topped off.
Yeah. Yeah, given how much HP the fighter has... Oh, well...
That's a big swirl.
Yeah, it was. I think it was bigger than any of the other runners got, if I remember correctly.
Swing and a fast. The thief manages to not get hit by Chaos there. 4 stacks of evade.
Yeah, that'll definitely help.
There was a very temporary look at drink strats. Down goes the thief. Lock 2 out of the Red Wizard. Safety up, another white shirt use. Bane comes out, ineffective. Another lock 2 and a swing. Nuke comes out, takes out the Red Wizard before the lock can come out. Fighter, last man standing, 350 hit points.
Ooh, whole day and pray time.
Fast on Chaos. Will continue to miss against this max evade fighter. Stop. Lands on the fighter. Now that evasion is meaningless.
Oh dear.
But is no longer stunned. Swinging some crits. Swinging some miss out of Chaos. And terminated. Hate the 13th finishes 4th place overall. 1 hour, 47 minutes, 15 seconds. Get your GGs in chat.
Absolutely. GG to Hate. And also want to give a shout out to the remainder of the runners who were going off of stream. Of course, we already talked with Sonny Wrath on stream. J-Man, Papa Ducks, and Chanigan also were racing, and also unfortunately had to bow out this evening. But definitely GG's to all of them, because we definitely appreciate all of our racers and runners tonight. And it looks like we are joined in chat by Hate13, so GG, congratulations.
GG, Hate.
Helps if I'm not actively muting myself.
Hey, I know.
I understand that pain.
Yeah,
I was going to say, seems to be a trend tonight.
yeah. I look down, I'm like, oh, hey, I apparently hit the hardware mute button. Yay! Oh, man.
GG, Hate. How'd you feel about that seed?
The seed in itself wasn't too bad. My controller's being a bit of a brat, though. Kept
Yeah,
trying
I
to
was
go-
noticing a couple of...
kept trying to go left every time I pressed down. I'm like, no, stop that right now. Ah, well. Overall, it was, it was not a bad seed. I've had worse. That's how I can look at it.
There you go, optimism.
Yes.
So on stream, you were one of the majority in that Bert was the only one who did not have to double dip Earth. How did you feel about having to go back into Earth after finding out that the rod was at the Sage?
Oh, I was entirely expecting to have to double dip Earth. I just dipped into the first couple of floors to look for some scratch so I could, buy some more spells and potentially head away from there.
I gotcha. Were there any issues that you had in terms of the seed, like, as you progressed on? Anything that was particularly frustrating?
Getting jumped by the Whiz Vamps and Sky 3, and then again on Earth, floor of Topher. But that was, that was pretty much it. The rest of it wasn't too horrible. Yeah, it was just mostly, my brain just kind of melted on me there. Yeah, really, honestly, it wasn't too bad. It was just slogging through things, and, well, of course, Tia 2 and Kraken 2 taking out my party on my first Topher dive, but, well, Topher gonna Topher.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I'm not mistaken, you are going to be participating in the Duck Derby this upcoming Sunday.
Yes.
Did you feel that there were any important lessons learned out of this seed tonight?
I need to clean my controller. And I need to make sure I have a little bit more scratch before I go into towns. I hate having to go into towns so many times just to purchase spells. And I need to make sure that I get the spells in the same slots if I have more than one type of the caster.
I think those are great points. And in fact, that's actually something that Bert and Sonny both talked about as, part of the intro of the seed. Sonny Wrath is still in here. You want to share your purchasing strategy this seed? Or more specifically, your sale strategy? Sonny might have stepped away.
Yeah.
So the gist of it is that Vorpal plus 5, the Excal plus 4, those were both sold, and I think a katana as well. There were a lot of swords sold on Sonny's side. Sonny ran a thief and 3 reds. Everybody else on the restream ran the thief fighter double red that you had. So
I'm not surprised by that. I mean, and honestly, I was highly tempted to sell that Vorpal sword when I first picked it up, but I didn't find anything even remotely decent for the thief to swing after promotion until, well, after I found that katana. And, well, I probably could have given him one of those axes as well, but at that point I didn't even have those axes, so I was mostly just holding on to it as a, alright, well, just in case nothing else comes up kind of thing. But yeah, I had been considering selling the Vorpal sword as well, because it's a Vorpal. Yeah, it rolled plus 5, but it's still a Vorpal.
the Vorpal was actually better than the katana this seed.
Yeah, I know.
Across the board.
Yeah, I checked the stats on it because I was like, all right, Katana -1, yeah, it's probably not going to be as good as the Vorpal, but it's a Vorpal sword. I just have a visceral reaction to it. I blame Vanilla for that.
I think that's fair, but Team Vorpal sometimes in chat was looking up on this seed.
Yeah, even I was tempted for it for, a little while. Eventually it just got relegated down to, all right, you, caster, here, have something you can swing so I don't have to try and magic.
I do want to make sure Kurant has the opportunity to talk to you as well. Pass it over to you, Kurant. What you got?
Well, I was going to say, considering that we're both fellow ducks, I just want to say, well, first off, GG tonight, and good luck on Sunday. I have a feeling that I will probably still be eating your dust about 30 to 45 minutes after you finish, so enjoy.
I don't know. Sometimes the rando's just going to rando, and I've had a couple of oops all loose seeds that I just couldn't get started on because I couldn't find anything decent. It was just like hour and a half. I hadn't gotten anything. I was like, you know what? This is not fun. I'm out.
Yeah. Well, let's hope we don't get that sort of seed on Sunday night, please.
Seriously.
Well, but yeah, good luck to you. Thank you for joining us in chat, and thank you for joining us to run tonight, especially considering how late it is. But yeah, I don't really have any questions for you. Just felicitations and good wishes, and good luck on Sunday.
All right, thank you very much, and good luck to you as well, and to any of the other ducks out there who were going to be getting in this melee on Sunday. And also, thanks to everyone involved with the stuff tonight. I know that the restream was being handled by SpeedGaming, and I'm not sure who was tracking, but thanks to all involved. Easiest way to put it.
That'd be Shadowed Flames in the tracking position, which he was absolutely fantastic.
Shadowed is a good tracker. Very good tracker.
Yep, absolutely.
And, thanks to the other runners, and obviously to you, Kront, and you too, Saracen, and, go give everyone else a follow. They all deserve it. They do good work for us all.
As we seem to be going through our final thoughts here, Kurant, final thoughts?
Well, I definitely appreciated the opportunity. I mentioned at the outset, this is my first time back in the Final Fantasy Randomizer booth in about 4 months because of lovely vision issues. So it's great to be back. It was a lot of fun. Saracen was a lot of fun doing comms with you. And of course, as y'all mentioned, Shadowed Flames is an excellent tracker, and definitely much obliged to you as well. Thank you to SpeedGaming for putting up with us for a little while, and for putting up with us so long that we went into tomorrow. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was interesting. I definitely am taking a couple of mental notes for Sunday night, so it was definitely a great opportunity in a lot of ways, so thank you all for that.
All right. Well, with that, we have reached the end. I also want to say thank you to Shadowed Flames and Kurant for being fabulous partners here, running the comms and the tracking. SpeedGaming for being an excellent host as always, and you, chat. You're fabulous. All right, so if you enjoyed what you saw here and you are not yet part of our community, come join the Discord. Easiest way to get there is to go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, click on the Discord link. The randomizer's there as well. You can check out all of the features, give it a test run. There are lots of options. I still think it's one of the most robust randomizers on the internet. So, again, with that as well, thank you to our fantastic developers who just today released the 4.2.1 update, which is also adding some bug fixes and some new little bits, which is great. This is Saracen, joined in the booth by Kurant. Again, Shadow of Flames as a tracker. Wishing you all a very great night. Thank you so much. See you next time.